Hi guys, Maya here. Today I'm recording this video to share some stories of my experience and with personal style. And when I was young, I think it was in kindergarten or grade one, and I came to school and there were different kids who had dressed up in different costumes and that. And for some reason, I went to school in my normal clothes, my everyday clothes. Like I must have missed a memo that it was dress up day or something. And there was a part of the day where we were sitting in the room with all the other kids in like a big circle. And I remembered this girl. She was wearing this big pink fluffy princessy tutu kind of dress, and I'm not sure why I only remember it in that instance. I'm sure she was wearing it the whole day, and that was very memorable to me. And what I remember in my experience was that, oh, I wish I could be as um, pretty as her. I mean, in her dress. Like I wish I had a fancy dress. I wish I stood out and I was that memorable as well. And I swear that memory has stuck with me till now, until last year, where I started to, wonder how has that shaped me? Because obviously there's a lot of memories I don't remember, but that one just keeps staying there in the back of my mind, along with a kindergarten memory where I found making a paper mache octopus so fascinating, and that memory stuck with me as well. And what I loved about that was that I loved creating, and I thought making a paper mache octopus was absolutely magical. So now I'm really, getting in tune with my creativity, as well as um, beautiful clothing and outfits and creation. And that experience with the pink dress girl, um, I've noticed that it's caused me to always love unique and statement things, particularly with my clothes and accessories. In the past, I'd gone out and bought lots of statement stuff, and then not really know how to wear it because it was all statement stuff. And I thought that if I had a statement necklace, then everything else had to be quiet. And I recently discovered, particularly in my style training, is that if I put two statement things together with the right harmony, then they both get toned down and one doesn't overpower the other. So there's different, things to consider in the science of style for that to work. So yeah, I was in a space of everything is a statement, and then I would feel uncomfortable sometimes because I'd wear something and I'd stand out all the time, not knowing that actually that was antisocial, and it made people feel standoffish. They might have looked at me and thought, who the hell does she think she is? When really it was just my self-expression. But I didn't manage the tone well in certain scenarios and certain environments. And then another story about statement stuff where, I actually didn't feel good about the result, even though it was seen as positive. Um, in year 12, I had my high school formal, my year 12 formal, as well as my boyfriend's formal at the time. So he went to a different school. And I went to my formal, and I felt really comfortable with what I chose. And it was like a shimmery, metallic kind of green dress, and it wasn't over the top, but it was lovely. And like my green is my all-time favorite color. And look, most of the time, green is actually not that easy to wear. Um, but I wore green and I felt comfortable, and I went and made a custom shawl to go with it, and it was good. Um, what happened at my boyfriend's formal was that I actually kind of custom designed the outfit as well, and I ended up wearing a black fitted top with spaghetti straps, and I actually had my mum help me make this white skirt. So its former, it was white satin with a sheer mesh overlay with glittery stars on it, and I wore those together. And I at my boyfriend's formal, I actually won best dressed female. So I am confident in myself, like I know how to make a statement. But the thing is, I felt bad. They called out my name, and I didn't want to go up and get the prize or award because it was not my formal. I was a guest, and um, from my perspective, it was inappropriate for me to actually win that because so many girls would have waited, you know, at that school, waited for the day to, you know, dress up and be seen and be memorable and feel really special at their own formal. And I've gone in and essentially overshadowed that. So that was like I appreciated what they saw in my outfit, but it was not appropriate. And actually towards afterwards at like this beach after party thing, someone said to me, oh, it looks like, are you getting married? It looks like you're getting married, because it was a big white dress. But like I didn't, that didn't bother me. And so yeah, there's different levels of appropriateness depending on who you're with and where you are. And it's being taking pride in and being cautious of how you dress, being wary of how you dress, is taking others into consideration and also respecting them and being relatable to them, which, you know, I've learned in my style training and journey. Another story I wanted to share, and I'm boasting a little bit here, but there's a different message I wanted to, you know, shine a light on. A few years ago, my girlfriends and I went to this charity fundraiser dinner, and the theme was Phantom of the Opera. So we were encouraged to dress up and wear masks and all that. And I'm like, oh wow, you know, I can get really creative here. And I searched eBay for a very unique, oh, I should have grabbed it, sorry, unique sort of mask. And it was kind of a bit asymmetric, and it was a lacy feel with some diamantes here, and it was beautiful. It is beautiful. I still have it. And my outfit kind of revolved around that. So I was wearing a tube top as a part of a jumpsuit, and also this involves mesh again. I bought some long black mesh from Spotlight, and I actually folded it and put a black rope where the fold was to turn it into this long cape. And I bought a beautiful necklace. It will stand out with, it had green, and other like white stones around it. So it was about this big, kind of medallion looking, and that was a focal point. Everything else was black, and I wore black shoes, and I had my hair done to look like, it was Marie Antoinette-esque-ish. So it was done up with curls, and there's a bit coming down here, and that was the Phantom of the Opera vibe that I created. And I was sitting there at the dinner, and a lady tapped me on the shoulder and asked me if I would participate in, I was chosen to be like a finalist for the best dressed female. And I'm like, yeah, okay. What they did was they rounded up like 5, 6-ish males and females, and they got us to come up to the dance floor, which was also the stage, and then they got people to clap and cheer to essentially vote for the best dressed male and female for that theme. And my friend actually went up as well, and she ended up, she was wearing an áo dài, so a traditional Vietnamese dress, and it wasn't really Phantom of the Opera themed, but she was wearing a mask as well with matching colours. And she stood out because not many other, I don't think any other females were wearing the traditional style dress. So she stood out, so they chose her to come up as well. And so cheering phase, it was me and her. Like, I wasn't in competition or anything, but the level of cheer was on par with each other. And then I'm like, I actually didn't like the attention. So I love to make a statement, but at the time I couldn't handle the attention. So what they got us to do was, I think they called some people off, can't remember now. And then they got us to essentially strut around the stage and, you know, claim our place in the rankings of best dressed. And my friend led the females around the dance floor, and she was really proud and really out there and strutting her stuff. But me, I'm kind of just, you know, bouncing like, you know, bopping along, and I wasn't all that confident because I didn't want the attention. And so what I'm claiming that in the theme of things, I was actually best dressed, and she won because of her confidence and her attitude. So they're different stories, but what I'm trying to say is sometimes you can look great and not have the confidence to match it. So there's a balance and there's a discovery inside your personal style and self-expression to have you also be confident. So the clothes can actually cause your confidence, and but it's a discovery. Like, we need to discover that association that we create inside of that. And then sometimes, going back to my boyfriend's high school formal, there's a different level of appropriateness according to different scenarios, is what I learned from that. And when you're truly in your element, like my high school formal, then all is happy days. I'm sure I can find a better expression, but yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you. My learnings to do with personal style and self-expression and visual communication. And I hope, you know, you're able to look at this and reflect at your life to see, you know, when have your outfits worked for you, and when was it over the top, or when was it even underdressed. That's it. It's about 12, almost 13 minutes, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya from Real Lifestyle.